Welcome to my end.
Okay, so today, hopefully the twist mode will be back up. I guess last time was one of those limbo times. I forget how these things even work because I haven't cared about like current meta and expansions in a long time. But basically just, that was like the pre-release week. So for some reason, twist was just unplayable, or at least that day, last Sunday. And so now I presume you'll be able to do it. I won't even care about the nerfs because I'm not using those cards anyway. So I'm still sort of trying to do my underplayed class round robin. Right, just trying to play priest and I'll eventually play rogues, but now they're sort of teasing me and tempting me. I got N'Zoth finally from the shop a couple of weeks ago, or like a couple of months ago, whenever it was available then. Yeah, I should get this one because I do like these 3D ones, I must admit. They're very cool. In fact, this is the sort of thing that the game should have always had, because this is the sort of thing you can do in a digital card game that you can't do in real life, like... That would be really cool, but you can't get this any other way, and I'm not going to pay 25 bucks for it. But because I am playing as a priest, these are kind of sick, you know? She looks kind of weird, but I'm sure the animations are cool. Or even they should show off the Sylvanas one that's actually 3D too, so you feel tempted to do that. Why does she almost look evil in that? Yeah, let me see, like... It looks kind of both good and bad at the same time. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the emotes, but yeah, we should get both that and this. Like, why is this even a rogue? It's just a robot. That looks pretty cool, but I kind of don't really care about cosmetics in general. I was just doing it for a while to try to keep up with the thing. This I'll obviously get. Yeah, I was complaining last time, like, Warlocks get all the coolest stuff, like, throughout the whole history of the game. You got Jiraxis as the first hero card ever, before any other class had access to them. And then you get, you know, N'Zoth and all these badass ones. Everybody's a Warlock. Mal'Ganis even, like, just... It makes sense to a certain degree that they're Warlocks, but come on. Yeah, I don't know what exactly I want to do. I just want to play Twist, and I don't really have much interest in playing Standard. In fact, I almost kind of want to play Wild. There's something in Wild that I wanted to do, and now I can't remember. I was sort of having an itch to play... Yeah, we get the sexy Sargeras card back, but we will have to spend the $20 just for this. Just for the Sargeras skin. Like, how could we possibly not get that? Problem is, I don't really play as Warlock much anyway, but it is what it is. I mean, you can't really argue with that. That's got to be one of the coolest things ever. But again, is he really a Warlock, though? He certainly wasn't a Warlock originally, right? So he became one. He changed his class. That's what makes Sargeras so OP, is he can just do that. But it's more like a hero class, obviously. Like, he would have been more along the lines of a paladin before, or even a warrior, I think. Just, you know, destroying all the evil in the universe. Gives us a good excuse, actually, to change our card back from the Lilith one to this. You certainly can't complain about the cosmetics, but the effect of Sargeras was kind of boring, though, actually. But you know what I might do is just say, screw the underplayed class round robin. Let's just play as a Warlock, and I'll play as N'Zoth, and I'll work towards that. It's sort of teasing me with that, too. Why don't you want to be a priest? I really don't. Quite honest with you, I think I can pass on that. It's just not doing it for me. I don't know. I should play Twist and hope that they'll let you use older school expansions this time, because that's what they said. They'll keep changing the expansions you can use, and that'll enable me to basically... What do you call it? Like, do Renounced Darkness and stuff like that. Yeah, basically the card back should be the most recent one, which I don't know how they exactly organized this. It doesn't even have a... What is the joke on that supposed to be? The fact that he's the destroyer, so he destroyed his flavor text. I can't extrapolate it otherwise, or it could just be bugged. Or like they just can't describe his epicness and put it into words. Yeah, I'm actually not even in the mood to play as priest. Like, I don't even care. What is Twist gonna be? Are you kidding me? Why? This doesn't even make sense now, because the expansion should be out this time. Every month. Starts in less than a month. The game mode is locked until the season starts. So, just to ask again, like, where are we now, then, if we're not in the season? Whatever, dude. Yeah, this expansion is pretty cool. I think my favorite legendaries that I vouched for were the... My favorite legendaries out of the set were just... the Druid one seemed to be very, very cool. Right, let's re-look at them. Duplicate your hand or summon copies of all friendly minions. That one's pretty cool. And then after this, use an ability, summon a 5/5 with Taunt. And so this is going to be drawn until your hand is full. Restore your hero to full health. But yeah, that in itself is such a big deal. Because like you're not like Reno Jackson meta to the umpteenth degree. Refresh your mana crystals, and of course have a card that makes you do all 3 at once because you're a druid. So you know, you choose either effects, do all of them instead. I don't know how that would work with Titans actually, but I feel like it wouldn't, obviously. So they didn't add any hero cards to this. They've kind of abandoned that, but now they're doing this very contrived mechanic with the Titan where you get to choose between 3 things instead of attacking, which is obviously a very big deal. But you know, they do something and then they commit to it and then they kind of forget about it or just move on. Or like, yeah, were there no cards in this expansion either that involve can't be targeted? They've kind of underutilized my favorite mechanic so much, but in a way that makes it kind of a novelty, I guess. What could we do here? Can't do twist still. You know what? I don't know what I want to do. What's the point in playing standard? It's just never any fun. Fine, I'll do this until I'll let the format decide. So clearly I won't throw these games on purpose. But actually this is a class only priest deck too. Like surely I could make a better one than that. And I won't be using any of the meta stuff, or maybe I can. Maybe I should just disenchant everything and then do that. Right, I'll make a meta priest deck. Basically, the point is that I'll play until I lose as these 3, and then I'll go to Warlock and just dick around, just because I want to work towards, you know, we'll be using Sargeras. That'll make it worth it by itself. Let's just disenchant everything that we can, or not Death Knight stuff, because obviously that's one of the classes here, even though it's not really, because you know, Demon Hunter, Death Knight, like I obviously played Death Knights a lot since they came out. Even after they nerfed that chick, it was still pretty good. The wait, why is it showing as wild though? Like I'm in the wild thing, but these aren't wild cards because I just got them from the modern packs. That's weird. It shouldn't have those roots around it unless the card itself fits into that idea. Is that really what they did with Sargeras' flavor text? He's the destroyer, so haha, he destroyed his own flavor text. Or you know what I might miss is if they reintroduced that mechanic that is like, you know, it combines 2 classes together. Because what they do is they sort of troll you with that too. Like, why is it still showing the Lilith card back when I just changed it? It'll be like Demon Hunter, which is like dark green, and Hunter, which is like light green. So there'll be like the similar color schemes between all of them. Or like a mage and a shaman. So it'll look so similar that when you go through and disenchant them, you know, you won't even notice that it's one that might be usable for one of your classes that you use and not for another one. And it'll appear in this one first before we get there, for example. It's kind of a good idea, though, because I'll play Priest and then I'll play Rogue. Like, I should almost make a format like that. I have to get Legend as Priest and only Priest 1 month, right? But I'm just not in the mood, I guess. Oh shit, wait. Oh yeah. Didn't you just hear what I said? They'll do a dual class thing, but at least these are distinct enough colors. This is to play as like the egg thing, which is so much fun, which you can't do in Twist, but you can do it in Standard still, right? Because that's where I was doing it. It's not like a wild deck. Well, that was just a colossal mistake. I think they fixed how the new functionality works too. So you can type in new and it won't make everything disappear as soon as you like mouse over it. So you'll be able to disenchant them at will. I haven't played Paladins much. I always try to rank the classes. Like I played probably the most Warrior and Warlock of any 2. Then I played probably the least Priest and Rogue. Then Demon Hunter would be kind of close behind, but I don't count it as harshly because obviously it came out later on. And then I played a middle amount of, like, let's say, Hunter, Mage, and Druid. I think I played Shaman would be in sort of the bottom tier. Yeah, definitely Warrior and Warlock were up there, though. Jukebox Totem. Yeah, I mean, they went from one of the strongest subject matters, but even though recycling it with the Lich King, because they've already done a Lich King expansion, to one of the weakest ones with Festival of Legend, which is a stupid premise. Even if you like the cards and the mechanics and stuff is separate from that, just the idea behind the expansion, but then they go to another strong one here with Titans. This is obviously a very anticipated one. This should almost have been an expansion for WoW itself, where you get to... There was some theory talked about like that. I don't know if it was a fan theory or a real one. Like, you'll get to remake your character as a Titan. So you'll still be a human, but you'll be a human Titan. Or you'll be like a... I'm disenchanting priest stuff without even thinking about it either. But I shouldn't disenchant rogue stuff then, because that is going to be next on the list, I guess. Get rid of shaman stuff. Like, you'll always regret doing this though, because you'll, then I'll say, oh, I haven't played shamans that much either, so I want to do them next. Basically, if I was to order the next ones that I would try, what would they be, right? We're starting from the bottom of the barrel with priest, then rogue, then probably shaman, then maybe paladin, then maybe hunter, then maybe druid, then maybe mage. But I don't even have to get that far, because those wouldn't be... At some point, they wouldn't be underplayed classes anymore. We have enough to make at least one legendary, which I almost would want to be the warlock one, just to try Sargeras with that very underwhelming portal ability, which is just like, wow, he summons 2/3/2 imps. Like, what a... This is the Lord of the Burning Legion himself, the Destroyer of Worlds. I am become Death, Destroyer of Worlds. I have become Sargeras, Destroyer of Worlds. But this is what you give to us? Okay, get rid of all this. Like, just come on. We got 31 new neutral ones, but I shouldn't even disenchant the neutral ones, because who knows if I might actually need them. Why do some of these cards seem like old stuff that all I've done is open like new expansion stuff anyway, right? Hey Scotty, thanks for the follow. What did I even want to do? I'll give the priest a chance. Oh, I wanted to kind of see like if there's something. I guess I wouldn't have enough dust to really do that, and especially priest decks are often expensive. So what's even the point? Maybe I should just go with what I have, or let's make like one priest legendary Titan just for the sake of it, even if it has no synergy with what I'm doing whatsoever. Here, just from this alone, it would have to be obviously this. And he is like the original one, obviously. After this, use an ability to discover a legendary minion, shape the stars, use a non-Titan, summon a 2/2 copy, use 2 enemy minions, remove them from the game, summon a random 6-cost minion. Like, we'll just do it for the sake of it. I almost want to go back to the original deck of this that I was using, but now I can't remember what it was. Like, it was similar to, like, basically I just turned it into the class only cards, but now I can't play like that because it's going to be, what do you call it? It's going to be a case where, or is it one of these where you can't use those cards in here, obviously. Why is it showing it like that? Convert to standard, but yeah, these will be like only class cards, I guess. And now I'll be too lazy to even undo it. We're just still using our twist deck. So what could I get rid of to make way for the Titan? I'm just doing it for the fun of using it, not because it's actually... Like, this isn't really good. It's only in there because I was restricting myself to class cards. This is like an unintentional hard mode challenge, just because I forgot basically what was in there. So we'll do like basically the same round robin thing. Like, we'll just play till I lose as priest. Yeah, we just got Nazoth, and now we're going to get Sargeras. So now I'll be super tempted to play Warlock for that reason alone. But why would it be that for 2 weeks you can't play Twist? That's kind of weird.
Tyrande versus Rexxar.
And I don't know why I'm even bothering to play on Standard. I can still use this in Wild, or I could just do whatever I want. Discover spell from your deck is okay. Yeah, this is at least suboptimal from what we were using before. Like, we take the whole last expansion to finally decide, okay, I'll try to play a meta deck. And then by the time we do, the next one's already out. But then presumably it would still be pretty good. It's not like it goes out of the meta that quickly. I have half of mine to get that 3D thing just to flex the priest stuff, but I really don't want to use priest if I could help it. Yeah, they've kind of phased out the hero cards, which is okay. In a way, the mechanic is busted. Or it didn't even change the card back for this, still, somehow. It's tied to, like, the individual deck. Still using old Nathria cards, unless this is a new one that just has the same mechanic. I'm never good at really seeing what those icons are. No, this is an old one. Like, for me, it almost is indistinguishable at times. That's especially true in Magic. Like, oh, this is a card from the new expansion. I would know now just because of the Lord of the Rings thing, but, you know, I wouldn't know the difference between a super old card and a super new card because I just play in Historic all the time anyway. Leave the Frostfire card back. Kind of a weird ability as a mage. Frostfire Bolt, which defeats the whole purpose of sort of having some homogeneity with choosing one element over the other. And this is kind of a cute start with the portals, but you're not actually doing anything. I always call them portals. Locations. We save a badass mechanic like the portals for Sargeras himself. Isn't that one of the dumbest things? He summons 2/3/2 imps. Like, it's not bad, but it should be like it summons a random demon or 2 random demons or something more exciting than that. You're recycling the same thing from that one quest thing. You silence them, I almost just don't even care though. We'll just wait. And then we'll sort of set up to do something with the AoE there, but I won't even be able to do it. None of his stuff is still too imposing, but I just don't have the means to actually do this. This ability is really only good if you combine it with the one chick. Savannah or whatever her name is, which I often don't get in time. Maybe being smart by not overcommitting to the board. Then again, it's sort of a bait. I don't really even have anything. After your hero attacks, give your minions +1/+1. Deal 5 to a random enemy minion. Repeat this with 1 less damage. Could be good. Deal 2. A 1/4 monkey with taunt. Like, that's almost the sort of thing we want here. Just summon 2 of those, I guess, and buff it. I never would have imagined that would actually be good, but... So what do we got? I mean, if you can just survive the burnout period, but then again, these decks will surprise you. You'll be like, oh, it's aggro because it's a hunter. I said that stupidly one time. Then it turns out to be one of the biggest scale, longest range, mid-range, crazy thing that summons 14 elephants and all this kind of stuff. You could do that. You could do the heal here. I kind of just have to spam heals. Or I almost want that just to... Deal 2, summon a beast from your deck, tradable, resurrect all friendly beasts. Or yeah, the monkeys will totally carry me the whole way. Yeah, this deck surprisingly doesn't actually have that much healing in it, to be honest with you.
Caught this one eating party snacks.
So is he using like a really current modern meta deck? Because it doesn't really feel like it, but I wouldn't even know. I just always hate the idea of standard. It's such an illusion of balance. Like, let's just force you to... The real reason is the power creep aspect. Like, oh, let's force you to buy the newest cards just to make the, you know, that stuff more relevant. But if everybody was sort of more a free spirit like me, nobody would ever do that because you would just play whatever you want to play. So who cares? So then Wild would be the dominant format. It doesn't mean the modern cards wouldn't still be good and prevalent because you can obviously still use them there, but it just wouldn't matter as much. There's so many fun and interesting ideas you can do that just don't matter as far as the meta. You can go ahead and do this. The problem is that my healing capacity will still be very limited. Like, I'm already still down to 10, so imagine that. A priest who can't heal. We're fighting for our literal life, too, so clearly I play suboptimal on purpose, but I would never do that. That's always like the opposite interpretation. I would rather, you know, suffer the fate of playing some game, for example, like a first playthrough permadeath. Like, even I was feeling a little bit off about Somnium at the beginning, and then as soon as I started to like it, I failed. But I would rather do something I don't want to do than to throw something on purpose, though. But that would be a good excuse for my poor performances often. You have to kill that first, obviously. So just do that. Then you can do this. And then I can still heal. That's reasonable, I guess. Or I'll even just do that just to be sure. We've lasted long enough, but we need that Sister Sylvana to really make this worth it. Almost sounds like you're saying Sylvanas. I don't know what even happened to her character. Like, I saw her in the cutscene for Shadowlands, and then she just kind of disappears. Right, they were sort of trying to milk her as a big bad, but everything with 3 or less. Do this and then still try to deal with the rest of it. And if there's draw that many cards, okay. Maybe that was completely pointless anyway. It's not like those things are that threatening anyway, but some of the stupid monkeys actually been relatively valuable still. But yeah, we'll get him before even the sister. That wasn't really the best use of the arrow thing. Yeah, Hearthstone's actually a pretty healthy category, all things considered. I was making fun of it when I had come back. It was maybe doing worse then, and it started to get revitalized with some of these newer game modes or something. I swear it was averaging like 2 to 4K viewers in like 2021 when I was looking at it, and now it's like up to 7 to 10 or 9K at times at least. It's not nearly as dead as I would have thought. Not that you can really measure it by Twitch alone, but this thing I do really like the appearance of, but it's not really that good. Do that for free. Cover a spell. That's fine. Yeah, let's just do that for the fun of it. Pretty cool animation. So what ends up happening? Or you can do it even the turn you summon it. Then a random 6 cost minion. Choose 2 enemies. Yeah, let's just do that actually. Even though it doesn't seem like worth it. Or does that mean you can do 3 things total and then he burns out? Or does that just mean you have 3 choices? Or wait. What? Summon 2 1/1 Kobolds with Taunt, Rush Wind Fury after this attacks and kills a minion. Resurrected on your... Wait, what was the second part of that? Oh, it's just that's his unique effect, obviously, that I just read. You really think this dude is a 310 though? Like, the statting's never matched, but the statting hardly matters. Imagine if you don't have removal for it. You'll only be able to use each ability once, but I mean, it's highly unlikely they'll hang around for that long anyway. And I don't think silence would affect their ability to do that. Or no, I guess it would silence the fact that it's a Titan too. Right, but technically it doesn't say anywhere on there the specific effects that you're doing, so you're gonna lose to these goddamn clown monkeys. A random 6 cost minion, that's fine. After a minion dies, concoction, colossal. I mean, that in itself is very fitting for a priest. Like, Rush Wind Fury will summon the monkey back. Of course, what it does is it prevents the thing from actually being able to attack. Just because my hearth will go on. It allows you to basically, I don't know, discover a beast. Look how long this takes. Like, we're a priest playing a hunter. Why should this take so long? And it's like a low rank bronze 8. This is what's so annoying about it. It doesn't matter about the outcome. You know you're going to win anyway with any kind of decent quality deck. But it just wastes your time. You should always play aggro and faster paced classes at this low rank to just kind of speed through it. This is why that imp thing was such a godsend that I used from like bronze 10 to diamond 3. And I totally could have gone legend with it too, but I just got kind of bored of it. You could use both of those, but this Sister Sylvana is nowhere to be found. Or I mean, I could have tried to use this ability for that purpose too. Non-Titan minion, just whatever, I don't care. May as well just use it while you have the chance. Spell damage +1, improved by each school, spell, whatever, I don't care. Like, do you really think you're gonna win this? We obviously hold back the Colossal in case he does clear my board, which I think is kind of still unlikely. I probably should have just buffed that guy anyway. This guy's effect is pretty fun too. I don't think I've ever even used this card. Of course, I never play as a shaman, but that hardly matters in this game because so often you can just get away with, you know, you're discovering effects and using it in some other weird capacity. Like, look how this turns into such a long, epic control type of game at Bronze 8. It just... sometimes it's too much, right? Like, low rank play shouldn't really be like this, for better or for worse. It's not even that we won't win or that it's so hard. It's just kind of dumb. Now this guy is kind of useless to me anyway. Finally, we get something. You just end up getting so many goddamn options. Cover Shadow Spell is not even really worth doing yet, though. Go face, go face. Imagine him leaving the Titan around for this long, though. That's how you know it's low-level play. That would be totally antithetical to the meta. How could you possibly allow that to happen? Either you silence it or you just destroy it after you use the first ability. But the fact that it can't attack is almost irrelevant, because here's how most Titan encounters will work. You'll summon it, you'll use the ability, and then it'll be removed by your opponent next turn, so you'll never even get the chance to do anything. Or we won't have room for it anyway, so that's kind of a clown show. Or we could make a copy of this dude and then just play that anyway for the sake of it. But I'll still keep him around, actually, for what it's worth. This actually works pretty well in the context of the deck. I just think having only class cards is a little bit silly. But this will be a great twist deck, surely. Even though we have 0 of the new expansion cards, or it's not even telling me exactly what the next twisting will be. So apparently we're not in the season of the Titan. We're just kind of in between, in the middle of nowhere, and just kind of clowning around. I don't know what that means. It was like that last week too, so what are they trying to do to you? Okay, let's do this just to actually destroy both of them. You almost shouldn't be allowed to have 2 of these out at once, but there'll be all kind of decks that revolve around that anyway.
I cannot do this.
You can't do it to itself. Just to try to be fair to you. 8 cards. Rest of the game after you summon a Silverhand Recruit. Left and right next cards. Okay. I mean, I appreciate this guy's willingness to sort of drag this out, but we have like so many more options still. We have the Colossal guy. We have infinite spells with this. In fact, what ends up happening is you kind of deck yourself out. And that's where Renathal would kind of come into play, which is probably the main difference with the deck anyway. In before OTK, that he has some kind of combo with King Crush. We let the one Amonthol guy hang around the whole game. Which of those 3D portrait ones did I even get? I got like, wait, I thought I got the card back at least last time. We got the Arthas one that looks kind of like a clown with the way he's smiling. He has the same problem that Jack Nicholson has in The Shining, is that he's just smiling too much. I hate people how people defend that too. They're like, oh, well, he's going crazy, so that's the point. But there's still a way that he does it in other movies that's just better. Like, or just in general. He's sort of still overdoing it. Like that, as if that's an excuse for everything. Yeah. If you play a crazy character, you can't criticize the performance because, oh, well, he's just being crazy. So, of course, it's meant to be like that, even if it's over the top or something. Yeah, Arthas is just smiling like a clown there. And then, what's the other one? We got the Sylvanas one, which is actually pretty good. The Ranger Sylvanas. I like that. But again, a lot of these classes I don't play as. Or now we have the Sargeras thing, so why didn't it do it last time? Or it doesn't look too good on there. Why does it look kind of blocky and bugged out? He destroyed that part too. It explains not just the lack of flavor text, but it also explains the lack of proper texture on the card. I swear, it looks like pixelated somehow. We start off the same way with both the locations. I swear that's not how it's meant to look. But I haven't seen it enough, obviously, to know that. This should still count, right? But it's almost not even worth it. Clearly, we're going up against only the top of the top tier meta decks, but why do you have such a fancy hero then if you're doing this? And we'll still lose to it somehow, watch.
You here for the tour?
You gotta have the instincts of a handlock as a priest just to, you know, don't do anything your first several turns and just wait for something, but it doesn't really benefit as much as the size of your hand. We'll use Light Bomb, I guess, to clear this board unironically because it's still worth it. And 5 Silverhand Recruits. Or yeah, are we actually going to be facing bots in the long run? We could do it again. That wouldn't even really be worth it. Is there just nothing I can do though? We'll do this just to draw a card, but I'm sure they have some easy removal for it. Or actually, let's do it on the other thing too. Pair the love a little bit. The lifesteal is actually going to be kind of nice. I never really liked the colossal mechanic too much. That's how you know it's both contrived in terms of the number of expansions the game is doing, and also the power creep of it. Like, they'll do a keyword, like Magic does that too, other games do that too. They'll do a keyword and then they'll just forget about it. Every expansion should have at least one of each keyword, or at least, you know, mix it in an organic way, but sometimes they just forget about them or just let them go. Yeah, that sister never comes out at the right time, I swear to God. Even this, we can still just sort of, you know, have it trade in naturally with the little lure. But this is a great sign of low-level play, is that they're not using removal on big stuff that we have. Like, that's rule number 1. You certainly have an impressive number of Silverhand Recruits, though. I should almost just ignore them. I certainly can't do Light Bomb here. Clearly, this could never go wrong. Do all minions, though, unfortunately. Do this, and then do this as well. And then just go face. And they'll take care of me and heal me. I can certainly clear the board in case he does something crazy. Imagine if that made to do it for all of them. But that would almost be a bad thing, just like... Oh, too bad. No Equality Consecrate. Because it would make you take almost too much damage, but... But like, it could let you choose which one you want to attack, make it attack. We're not gonna have lethal, obviously. That would almost be too easy, just if you somehow... I don't know, if you're somehow able to just win as a priest that early. That's just not allowed. Every game has to be as long and exhaustive and annoying as possible, even against this clown level of play. That shows you how little we accomplished last time too. Like, we just... Or yeah, I want to try out Sargeras too, but his effect is so underwhelming it just almost doesn't even matter. Go ahead, deal 3, which isn't even going to make a difference. Is there anything of value here? Probably going to do an OTK combo with the thing, with the tiger. Now we're just not going to have any minions to summon, period. There was that one game like where we went into fatigue mode, or no, like where they went into fatigue mode and I didn't, but I still had no minions left in my deck, so it ended up just being sort of a moot point. You know, that's one of my pet peeves with card backs. Never mind the fact they put it in this vertical stupid way, but like the fact that the horn goes over the side. You don't want stuff to be sticking off the card back. Or sometimes the borders around it sort of ruin it. Gain a random bonus effect for each minion type you play this game. I mean, how long are you gonna drag this out? But as a priest, you just gotta play stuff at some point just for the sake of it. Just to get rid of it. I don't even want to trade it out. A good problem to have that you just have an excess of cards and they're so good value that they last forever. Sort of the inverse of our PvZ Heroes experience, or any sort of free-to-play beginning experience that you're going to have. Really the top tier stuff that you're looking at makes me want to play my stealth Demon Hunter deck, which is just totally random and has no organic theme to it whatsoever.
Come on stage.
Or do we just not have a way to actually do this still? Give it +1/+2. Just go ahead and do that, I guess. We won't lose to a third Stranglethorn Tiger that they'll somehow still have. It can be sometimes hard to finish these games because you might not have a way to... He's going to actually burn out my card. Look at how well he's doing against at least a last season's meta deck. even though it's sort of still not meta because you have the ability to, oh my god, you have the ability to basically only use class cards here, so it's a little bit worse than you might expect. Actually a decent budget sort of deck if that's what they're going for, but it's really not that hard at any of these games just to make one meta deck. Like if you know, play the game for a little bit, the problem is you'll get bored of it after a while. You have to commit to one class and one deck only, right? Because you'll spend all your resources to do it, or you don't even have to do that really, just because of the fact that, you know, you're going to be in a situation where you can easily just make like one 4,000 dust deck, like the Demon Hunter one and the Death Knight one that we both made last month or the month before are super low cost aggro 4,000 dust. Highest cost card in the deck is 4 for both of them. Like it's very affordable. But yeah, it's very easy to do those sort of things. Oh, they overcommitted. What would you have guessed, that we would have another AoE? What a misplay. What a fatal blunder. More like they just don't have the option to do anything in the first place. Draw. I almost don't even want to draw. I have too many cards as it is. Look at that. We still got us down to 9 health. Doesn't make my deck really look all that good. And I still won't be able to kill you. Yeah, I swear, Sister Sylvana is totally trolling me. She's ghosting me. Or if I could just spend all my mana. But the problem is the act of spending it will cost all my stuff. So I can't do Finale, but that would have been lethal if I could. I'm going to somehow die still. Or no, I did have it because I could have hit him in the face with that. But if you're in for a penny, in for a pound. Okay, dude. Gotta make the priest experience as authentic as possible. Makes it seem like a bot. Like they're not even... Or wait, why is it showing me their name? Does that verify that they're a bot? Because normally it just says them. So many things seem bugged out today. The lack of card text on there. The fact that it looked 8-bit on that. The fact that... That is kind of a cool card bag too. The fact that it's showing their name but not mine. Tricky Hunter, but now it says that. I don't know what that means. It would make you think it's not a bot, but maybe they would put it there just to indicate that it is. Or the fact that they always use that card back with the gear on it. What do you have to get Sargeras anyway? Like level 50 is usually a really good one, yeah. But yeah, like I was even going to work towards, let's get the Death Knight one for level 100. That'll be kind of a goal for that month to actually make a little Hearthstone mini-series, but there is nothing, right? They still haven't put one there. Like, how long did it take for them to put the Demon Hunter one? That shows you they would at least have the intention to do it, and it should be that Nurzul armor to actually give me something to work towards. 50 there, so we have almost 500. But you know what would almost be fun is let's do an arena within this. That could almost be a fair thing. That's always a good excuse to play a different class, too. Let's do a priest in that, too. Actually, I wouldn't even mind, honestly. I haven't really enjoyed Arena the number of times I've done it recently, though, somehow. Anything to escape this priest clown show. Free tickets as well. You know what, dude? If you're going to do it, just do it. And they do tend to be good in Arena if you just kind of slow pace them. Discover a legendary priest minion from the past. Give a friendly minion reborn. Discover a friendly minion that die. Or yeah, I should have to take all the new cards, or at least ones that I don't recognize somehow. Discover a friendly minion dies. This game shuffled in your deck. Although I do like that one from the past. Has +1/+1 for each other astral automaton. In other words, it just won't have any value at all then. I'm just looking for the icon. Grace of the High Father. Restore 8 health. Yeah, this isn't even from the new thing. Maybe that other thing was actually. Maybe I messed up my format already. I have to restart. Restore 8 health. Discover a card that costs the amount you overhealed. And then Serenity. Give all enemies -2 attack. Destroy any with 0 attack. Have a copy of this in your deck with a permanent +3/+3. It's kind of probably still too slow paced. I can't even tell what some of this is from. When you draw this, add a random dragon to your hand. Well, none of this is really new anyway. I don't know what the point of this art really was. Discover a spell from your opponent's class that isn't in their deck. Like, you could just say the effect normally. Or this is how, like, all the cards should look, just to let you appreciate the art. Or like, how can it be the PvZ Heroes presentation beats Magic and this game and like so many other ones, where the way it shows the minions on the board is actually still more immersive. Like, it just shows them as minions. It doesn't really make you think of them as cards. None of these are obviously new. Discover a spell from your opponent's class that isn't in their deck. Let's just do that anyway, though. I'm doing it almost a self-troll here. Give a friendly minion +2 attack and rush, or +2 health and lifesteal. I'm not even going to have enough time to really play this all the way through, so it doesn't even matter. This can be pretty good value. This is obviously really good. None of these are the recent expansion. I mean, just the most recent I care about. Okay, that you'll have to do. This is always like a fun tradition, though. Like, just you have to take all the new cards if you're offered them and just make them work. Even though that makes for an absolutely dreadful deck. That's obviously good because it's down to oh shit, are any of these gonna be new though? They're actually not. Choose the nameless one. Choose a minion, become a 4/4 copy of it, then silence it. But the fact that you're 4/4 kind of ruins it. Draw 2 cards, they cost health. That a mana, you don't really want to do that though. Although it could kind of, you know, just because it's a priest card, we'll use that as a condition too. Although Alex Straza was objectively going to be better. At the start of your turn, has a 50% chance to fall asleep. Oh wow, that should be a priest card then, am I right? Because that's a real life effect that is a condition of playing priest. You have almost a 99% chance of falling asleep. Choose 2 enemy minions they fight, add copies of any that die to your hand. For now, I'm not even looking for the thing anymore. On whenever this is attacked, draw a card. Deafen. This icon almost looks a little bit like it, but this is an old card. Once a minion, combo, deal 2 damage to it. After this attack, get a 2/3 Vicryl that costs 1. Get it? What do you mean get it? Like, add it to your hand, or? That's sort of a weird way to write it. Yeah, as if the Colossus wouldn't be better than that. Now we had to take 3 of those, which is one of my favorite things about Arena, that you can take more than the limit of cards, obviously. Deal 5 damage randomly split amongst enemy minions. Gain lifesteal. Or like the only time we really get to choose is if they... Oh shit. Double legendary, but almost doesn't seem like a big deal in this day and age somehow. Or that'll barely make up for the fact of how bad our criteria is here. Deal 4, deal 5, I mean, we obviously have to do that. Or, I mean, both of these are from the new thing, but why wouldn't you just do the Titan anyway? Discover a minion from the past. Or, yeah, I think I missed... What's going on? See, is that just how Arena is nowadays? It'll just give you a million things, but we'll barely even get to enjoy it. All friendly undead. I mean, why not go with the old school? Instead of a 6 mana 4/5, 4 mana 4/4. What a weird adding decision. After you forge a card, you get a copy of it. We're probably not going to forge anything ever anyway. It's obviously very good. A lot of the same cards that we're using in our thing anyway. We got actually 3 legendaries with it. I heard you like priest, so I take a break from my priest round robin to do a priest in this anyway. Because it's so good, it's not going to lose at bronze 9 or whatever. We're like halfway through the month, and look at how little we did there. But then again, I was planning on playing Twist anyway. I didn't want to do this mode. Standard. +1/+1. I mean, you'll keep them just for the sake of it. If you're holding a shadow spell. I don't know how many shadow spells I even have. It felt like none. We got 3 legendaries, so maybe this would have been the best deck ever in Arena history, but so many times it seems like that, but they're not actually that good. And of course, legendaries in general are not that good. I mean, that's going to be useless no matter what. But then again, for 1 cost, it at least gives you something to do. Silence a minion, kind of pointless, although it did give me benefit from that, so I'm glad I didn't play it. So for 3, taunt at a random 4-cost minion to your opponent's hand. It's a horrible effect for Arena because it's too going to give them sort of card generation and cycling when they might burn out otherwise. Discover a card that costs amount overhealed. Could be good. Whatever we discover is going to be better than what I have anyway. Let's go face as Priest, the tried and true method. Common Wisdom. Yeah, we got Amanthol and we also got Gul'dan, so that's kind of cool at least. Which it sort of suits Priest more to do that anyway. You might say, oh, the legendaries aren't that good in Arena a lot of the time, but the reason why they might be is because they sort of can't really do anything this turn at all. In fact, that's not even worth saving, so let's just wait. You might do the Black Knight just period as a static play there, but somehow I don't feel the need. Or yeah, that would make it worth it immediately. Cover a legendary minion from the past. You could almost save it for an even better on the sure to come later. What a perfect way to play into it, though. I wonder what Sargeras' voice lines would actually be. Gain armor equal to this minion's attack. I just kind of, I'll go through these phases where I do a format with a game like this, like one of my secondary series, but then I just won't do it for a while. Combo, like 1 month I'll say, okay, I have to get legend this month or delete my account or something like that, and then I just won't even worry about it. Draw 2 cards, cost health instead of mana. Like, I almost don't even want to do that. Reduce the cost of all corrupt and corrupted cards. Whenever you summon a minion, like, I shouldn't do it, but just for the fuck of it, I will. You should almost do that to overheal, but you'll discover a 6-cost card. That was a really stupid decision. So not only do I draft for fun rather than value, but I also draft now for the expansion, and then I also play for fun too. Like, I'm just not really doing the optimal play even in the course of the game, but I'll still win. Arena kind of got less and less fun, I feel like, over time. Just somehow it started to feel too contrived and almost too much like constructed. The rest of the game, first card each turn costs 0. You die in 3 turns. Well, clearly, that's not going to be allowable. But let's just do it because it seems like fun. Like, well, we don't have to do it. We have stuff that makes it cost that, and then it also costs health. Either it costs 0 or it costs health. For the rest of the game, your first card each turn costs 0, but that won't even count. Oh no, but it's once it dies too, but we better actually hold off. Be able to dick around with the Gul'dan. But I mean, you don't really want to do that because you'll be losing way too much health, and despite being a priest, we're not really going to have that much healing at our disposal. Although we do have like a third one of those. Yeah, this is kind of a weird purpose card because you really don't want it to be where it heals you for too much anyway. And we could do it there, but that's kind of pointless. Plus health, so let's do a copy of this with the 3/3. I mean, you could do this and then just immediately heal back what you lost, though. It's a great tempo card, Gul'dan. It's just like, it's a little bit high reward. He would never expect me to have another one, but I almost am scared to play anything from it. I mean, even just drawing the 2 cards period is good. But yeah, that effect can end up hurting you. Like, you're low on health, but you just need the card draw, but then you don't have a choice. Right? They'll cost that forever. Not just like this turn.
No tune can hold me.
So many of these cards I haven't used because, of course, I never just play priest.
No tune can hold me.
This board is still kind of too intimidating. Yeah, we got more legendaries than you could ever hope for, but didn't really matter too much. I mean, I'll heal as much as I can, but I didn't get any discover effect. Or wait, it should still count as overhealing me for 0. Or no, it probably would do that if it fully healed me then it would let me discover a 0-cost card, or how else would it ever do that? Yeah, even if I lose, I should lose to my own effect here. That would be what's so fun about it. It's just like we will never even get a chance to do this. Or I should do like one arena game per time, or do like a arena permanent to play until I lose. I'm just not really like doing anything contextual with this. That's the thing. I mean, I still would have enough time to heal, but in fact, let's just go all in. But it's not going to. It's not going to matter because he's going to have way too much removal and stuff in his hand. So imagine that. A warrior out controlling a priest, even if it's an arena, nonetheless, like, my hand's actually burnt out against them, despite even having legendaries and stuff. High value. Finale, destroy minion, okay. Yeah, the goal here is just to lose with honor without letting him be the one who decides it. Deal 2 to all enemies. If friendly minion die, deal 2 more. 4. Okay, dude. I'm gonna random 8 cost. What are the chances you would see the exact same thing? Wait, I thought it was some sort of effect that would make it summon that specifically, but random 8 cost minion. What a weird thing. What was even the other legendary we got? We got this guy. We got obviously the Titan, but who is the third one? I feel like that always happens when I haven't played Arena in a while. It just makes it seem like the current state of Arena is jacked out. You'll get so much crazy stuff. Never mind just the power creep of it. Oh yeah, the Black Knight, obviously. Which actually did come into a reasonable level of play. Was that yellow thing around there before? It feels like a little bit different. Or I feel like it used to be blue. I mean, the priest was doing pretty good and constructed overall. I can't even complain. Yeah, I'm so tempted to just want to play Warlock. But I'm trying to beat the... Yeah, you know what? Let's just maybe do one game as Sargeras just for the heck of it. Or we won't be able to use a hero, but we'll just do... we'll do the card, do the epic 3-2M thing. Wow. Never in my dreams would I have imagined such an epic effect as that.
Welcome back.
Or, you know, I always did that as a meritocracy measurement. Like, when I came back, I did that. Or no, when I first started playing Hearthstone again, at least on stream, I did that Road to Wild Legend. And, like, whatever, that 1 month, and I was doing, like, these long streams and playing at evidently such a high level. It's like, would I get more viewers doing that than just dicking around with my theme decks like I do? But no, somehow I got even less. Not that that's much of a measurable thing, but it barely even mattered at all. Let's just see what I want to do with Warlock. I clearly would have enough dust to do this anyway, but like, yeah, whatever happened to it letting you choose like a legendary or something every time. We'll usurp N'Zoth with that. We get to combine 2 of the coolest things. So let's just buy like infinite numbers of packs, I guess. Or there's something here that you'd be able to buy with gold that's like a bundle. Or it just lets you buy them like... I really hate that they force you to do it like that. 13. Like, that you can't buy like this stuff with gold, even if it was an exorbitant amount. 43 pack opening, although a lot of them aren't even... Wait, it doesn't even look like 43. I just want to disenchant and just make Sargeras, and that'll be good enough. Not that he's even that good. But wait, why did the thing just change on me? Did we get to combine 2 of the coolest cards in the history of the game, or at least we combine N'Zoth, which I was always dying for. You have to understand what a big deal that was for me, that I got it from the shop randomly for like $5 because I saved... I get to preserve my integrity. Like, we saved $75 because it would have cost like whatever in the pre-order. So I didn't do that back in the day when I didn't want to use microtransactions anyway. But I still got one of the coolest hero / card backs. And of course, he has to be a Warlock, which again, it makes sense, but it feels like old gods are almost above it. Yeah, why does it keep changing between the Legend card back and the N'Zoth card back? Yeah, even when I do my Underplayed Round Robin, I can't resist my addiction to play Renounced Darkness or whatever else. We won't even be able to do Renounce because, like, I've had an urge to play my anti-spell deck too. Let's just get enough dust to do this stupid guy. Really an underwhelming effect though, am I right? It's very surprising even. Age of Mythology. Okay, I argue we don't even need to do this, but just for the sake of it. Huge free-to-play pack opening. Wow. I'm surprised they even had that many. How did I have like 30 plus? I only bought just like 13 right now. I don't even see where they're being accounted for. This still doesn't seem to add up to what it showed. Just give me like 4 legendaries so I don't even have to think about it, assuming they're going to be... Yeah, I really don't get why it keeps changing those. It's not even because I'm like opening different packs. Some of those were the same exact ones anyway. Maybe just based on like what class you open first. Oh yeah, because I have 9 of those. I mean, they could have just given me a legendary from their period, but the chance of it actually being Sargeras would have obviously been pretty low. Or no, one of these was from buying Mal'Ganis, another epic warlock character that, you know, but that one makes maybe the most sense. But do you really think of Sargeras as a warlock if you had to choose? I almost would think of him more as like a, you know, obviously he has those powers as part of the Burning Legion, but at least his original disposition would have been as a, you know, like demons aren't always warlocks, but just they get lumped in like that. That's like saying Death Knights are always paladins in life. That's why they become one, and that's almost how they show it. Like you have distorted versions of paladin abilities or whatever, but that's not necessarily the case. Why do I have packs from like all these different random expansions that wouldn't still be just laying around here? Yeah, what was even the other legendary cards that you get as a warlock? I didn't even see what they were. Yeah, Sargeras is cool looking, but not really that exciting. It should have just been like a hero card, and only warlock should have gotten one from this expansion. They sort of did that for a while. Like they had Knights of the Frozen Throne where everybody got a hero card. That's how they introduced the mechanic. Well, they introduced it with Jiraxis, obviously, but then they move on and they give warriors Dr. Boom, and so you only get that. Oh, we do actually get it, but obviously these are warlock packs, so you have maybe a... Well, that saves me a lot of trouble. What are the chances? Like, they're warlock only cards, but that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get a legendary in each one or something. So Mal'Ganis comes through and summons his lord in Sargeras. Like what Varimathras' job was to do. You have failed me, Varimathras. There's that voice line from the Siege of Orgrimmar or whatever. The attack, not Siege of Orgrimmar. The attack on Undercity to dispose whatever. His little coup that he's trying to do. And Thrall sort of vouches for Sylvanas at that point. Like, oh no, she didn't mean for that to happen. Blah, blah, blah. You always felt like she had to defend herself over everything. Like, nobody ever trusted her, but she was also so capable. She was maybe the smartest and best tactician of anybody on the Horde. Even Thrall gets like this sort of plot armor Deus Ex Machina bullshit all the time, right? She feels like she earned it a little more because she was sort of an underdog. She kind of whooped the Dreadlords and did all kind of impressive stuff. That is so incredible that we happen to get it. Let's open all these packs so we can craft Sargeras. Of all the things, we got a couple legendaries, obviously, but what should we do? Let's just do it with Renounce, period. Any of these we can just do. Even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we won't really be able to use Renounce Darkness anyway. Or we won't even get the chance to be able to play them. We'll do this like the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, and PvZ. Like, we don't get to actually play it. It's just, you know, like we're not guaranteed to play until we do it. It's just, if we happen to do it, so be it. One of the most badass characters in the history of all fantasy RPGs. What's his effect? Open a portal that summons 2/3/2 imps, which is the same effect that a random quest had from years ago. Like a very underwhelming, stupid effect, if you ask me. It doesn't live up to the mystique of him, at least, is my point. Wait, now I don't even remember which one it's going to be. Or no, it should be that, because that was the most recent one that we just did, but I forgot. So many of these are going to be ineligible anyway, so. It's not that. Obviously that. Yeah, we should be able to play Sargeras as Jiraxis. That would be the ultimate. But no, somehow I imagine him being a hero card. But they've kind of given up on hero cards as a mechanic, I guess, overall. It'll be obviously a bronze 10 lovely wild matchup as usual. I'm almost tempted to do that. It would be acceptable if I played him first, right? So let's just try to get Sargeras as quickly as possible. I'm not even saying he's not a good value card, but just... Yeah, I heard you like demons, so we go overkill with this. And so the whole point of this deck was to have all class cards, so that Renounce gets the best trigger, and then to have a whole bunch of cards that affect your deck that'll give you cards that aren't necessarily Warlock cards. Like Malchezaar might give you some, but he'll give you all kinds of random stuff. And he'll also give you, I should have done that instead, just to cycle through. I also have like Elise Trailblazer, so she would have given you, this is from like a long time ago, but you basically have like 40 cards, 10 of which will be non-class cards, and the rest will all be Renounce cards. It was just a full commit to the idea of trying to play all this kind of fun stuff. Renounced Darkness has to be one of my favorite cards in any game ever, just because it's such a commit to fun. It's not going to be good, although it makes itself better value than what you might think just because of the lower cost. And you'll sometimes win in aggro matchups, and at one point it was actually in the meta, just because of the simple fact that I don't really like the way he says stuff, though. He's like being too showy or snarky with it. It just feels like some of these characters are too much larger than life, right? They're like hero characters. Like even Anduin is shown as like, oh, he's a priest, but he uses his father's sword. So what does that mean? Like he's a hero class. They can just do whatever he wants. So is N'Zoth really reduced to just being a warlock? Or like, what would you say about the other old gods then? Is Cthulhu a warlock too? Is Yogg-Saron a warlock? Is Y'Shaarj a warlock? Y'Shaarj is a, it's just a legendary card, period, but this feels kind of random at some point. Yeah, I'd probably use this deck almost as much as anything. Okay, obviously playing into that, but who cares? We're just trying to get the big bad boy here. Let's try to hear his voice line, which you almost can't appreciate when you are in the middle of a game because there's so much shit going on, but I still haven't heard all of N'Zoth's emotes because I was looking forward to him so much. But why do I feel like he wasn't gold before? Maybe that's the negative. You never get the regular version. You only get the gold one. Okay, that you can just do for the sake of it. Or... yeah, we'll just save the coin. And of course, Warlocks play into the whole... oh no, you better not burn him. I mean, you could do Renounce, but whatever. Let's just clear out our hand. They're making all sorts of troll plays too. Yeah, so isn't that such a cool idea, though? You put Elise in there to give you some extra bonus stuff that's going to affect your deck. So you're affecting your deck in 3 ways. One way is you replace all your class cards with random cards from another class. One way is Malchezaar, who's going to give you random legendaries. One way is that you're going to do Elise to get the Ungora pack. I'm sure there's other ways you could do it now, but this is like a Stone Age deck from like whatever the earliest you could have made it is. You're just kind of messing around with your deck as much as possible. Maybe there aren't too many other ways you could affect that. It would have to be a Warlock or a neutral card. And then, of course, I love the Warrior ones like that, too. Zinazari and Explore Ungoro. Zinazari was actually pretty good for a second there. At least by my low theme deck standards. Like, I'm no Mark MKZ or whatever, where he actually He'll make sort of very fun and interesting ideas, but they'll also be pretty good in the meta and stuff. I just take it to the extreme, and like I don't care if they're good, they're just kind of fun or interesting. Surely we shouldn't lose before this happens. I mean, you'll get the armor from that anyway, so it's okay, but... Or no, I won't, because I'm doing it too early. Darn it. This guy is obviously one of my least favorite cards probably in the history of the game, because he just does too many things in one. It makes him very contrived, auto-meta type of thing. One of my favorite mechanics ever, but... it's going to be a little bit problematic. Yeah, what if I was a demon too? Or it doesn't even mention the... like, to everything besides demons. This would be kind of good if you could just... 1, 3, 4 though. Deal 7. I mean, this could save you, but I could also just die right now. And I'd be in a lot of trouble. Fuck. Are you kidding me? Yeah, just play it out. Just let me see Sargeras. Fuck. Don't do it. I'm clearly just using a fun deck that's garbage, but I mean, they're not using anything exceptional either. Like when you see me using Malkazar, you know right there, I'm just kind of clowning around. The only way you could have had 40 cards otherwise, or 35 cards at least. Back in the day. So I didn't play Renounce or Sargeras because he just didn't give me the chance. So maybe we'll see him next time. But that was such an epic moment that like I'm going to craft him and only him specifically, right? And then I'm opening a bunch of packs and I happen to get him in one of those packs. And it happened to be a Warlock pack too, like one of those specific ones that's coupled with the Mal'Ganis. I kind of don't like that they give you packs and stuff with the cosmetics. They should always keep them separate, so it feels like you could still buy cosmetics without benefiting in like a pay-to-win sense or collection-building sense if you want to keep that aspect pure. Not that it really matters in this day and age anyway, but just, you know, it is kind of a stupid way to do it. Kind of bundle them together. Man, I really wanted to see him though, too. Whatever, see you tomorrow.